nervousness being an HR manager because I had zero experience in interviewing people or doing anything of that nature at all. So I remember the first day that I had to interview someone.
In customer service, one of my customers, the UPS people, had come too early, and so I was still trying to get this order out to these customers.
It was like early to mid 90s, so it was before you could just go on the web and type, interview questions or something like that, and that would come up. I had no idea what to do, so I remember interviewing this woman who was from somewhere on the East Coast, and she never took her coat off, and she had her keys in her hand the whole time, and she tapped them on the table at me the whole time that we were talking, hurry up and get this over with. And I was so nervous and intimidated by her. It was just it was like she was interviewing me.
I found out, and the warehouse said, you can't ship it today. I said, we'll wait. And so I gathered to myself, to problem solve this, I gathered myself a bunch of workers, and we weren't supposed to go into the warehouse, but we did anyway.
There was this one employment agency I would work with, and I swear to God, they were not screening the people that they were sending over to me, and they would send me the total crazies. And there was this one woman showed up in a prom dress. I'm betting they said dress nice, and she wore like a velvet bodice, big taffeta skirt, black patent leather shoes, probably whatever she wore to her high school formal. And then she had a gigantic book bag that was completely just filled with books, like she'd robbed a library. It was huge, and she drug that around with her everywhere. Oh, and a big parka, over the whole ensemble.
The first job I ever had was in an office, actually, in an insurance company in South Carolina, and I worked in the basement. I had a tiny little room, and my job, basically all day long, was to take a rubber stamp with a date on it and stamp it on the mail that came in that day.
There always tends to be some kind of sweet pastry or baked good kind of in the common area waiting for people to pass by.
We had a blast. A group of us went back there to support each other and get this order out, and we were singing back there like Snow White and the Three Doors. We had the warehouse people. There were 200 employees in this company, and we had the warehouse guys dancing around. They missed us when we couldn't go back there anymore.
And because it was an insurance company, there were a lot of claim forms and whatnot coming in. So it was a full day, 8 hours of taking the same stamp and stamping it on piece of mail after piece of mail after piece of mail.
Right underneath the sign that says, please clean your own dishes, there's always a big dirty pile.
And then the worst was they sent me this woman who the first thing she did, she shows up, not alone, with her newly married Swedish husband, he was very attractive, but I'm sure it was a green card situation. They'd just gotten married a couple days before, and she parked him in the lobby and went out to check on him 4 or 5 times during a half-hour interview. She would get up and go, hang on, I've got to go check on him and make sure everything's okay. He didn't speak any English, so she would go and make sure he was fine. And then throughout the interview, she told me that she'd lost her other, I don't know if she admitted to being fired, but she was really mentally unstable. She kept crying. She kept bursting into tears. She started to talk about this other job, and she would start to cry. And I remember she started crying. She was like, and then I asked for my birthday off, and they wouldn't give me my birthday off. And they are just lucky that I did not chop that woman up to pieces and hide her in the dumpster behind the building. And I'm like, oh my God, you just admitted in an interview to wanting to murder your boss and hide the body. I can't hire you.